Good morning. Today is Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. My name's Anthony. And this is Drive Dive. I guess if you were just tuning in, I don't know, previous episodes I've kind of been talking about things like limiting distractions and creating synergy in some of our activities and pastimes. And I think I said something about making connections, right? Managing time and making connections. And so I think I'm continuing down that vein today. As I mentioned yesterday, the previous episode, talking about my goals and wanting to work out and how that kind of panned out over the weekend, and then because I didn't get all three workouts in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was going to try to push one in to the week, and then thinking ahead to next weekend, I wouldn't be able to. I know I'm not going to be able to work out on Saturday, so bumping one up into the tail end of this current week. And so I guess a quick update on that. Like, I was able to work out yesterday, thankfully. I mean, it did take a couple of hours from the time I started. Got interrupted and needed to be present and available. Is another topic I've spoken about, for my daughter. And so, and even on top of that, yesterday I said something to the effect of, like, when I am working out, in order to make sure I'm fitting it in, sometimes I'll reduce the number of sets, or I'll reduce my rest time in between. So I had to do all of that yesterday to make it happen. But the deal is, right, or the point, the goal, the objective, the thing to celebrate, another theme or word I've touched upon is, I did get it done. I did get it in. I was still able to, connect with my daughter. I was still able to have a conversation around the dinner table. We're sharing a little bit of just, how was your day? And kind of going around the horn. So that was nice. And so I'm just saying that, again, if you've been following, or if you haven't, me talking about synergy, connections, time management, whether this is meant to be advice for you or some form of therapy for myself, I think I'm happy knowing that I was able to get those things done. You can do it too, and if you need that motivation. And for myself, I don't know, I'm just happy, and I hope that you can be happy for me. And so I guess the thing I wanted to talk about today is this idea of busyness. And I heard it said in a podcast that if busyness is your drug, then simply relaxing is going to feel awful. And I mean, it was said like it's a bad thing. And I admit, right, there is a fine line between, I guess, being a workaholic and keeping yourself busy, or rather than simply busy, I think the word is that I would choose to use, or that I would strive for, is being productive, right? I think there's a difference between busyness and productivity, right? And that's I guess my biggest concern in life in general is, am I just spinning my wheels? Am I doing all of these different things and going nowhere? I just need to feel that something is being accomplished, that some amount of progress is being made toward some sort of goal. The things that I do are an investment for some payout, whether today, tomorrow, or years down the road. it's some sort of investment. And that's the way I'm trying to look at things, the way I'm trying to approach my daily routine, my weekly routine and calendar, etc. In the diet and exercise, right, longevity, right, I think is just an admirable goal. I mean, I'm 40 years old, and I think I'm in the best shape of my life. I think that, and I think that's important. And beyond that, if I wanted a tangible goal, I don't know. I've thought about maybe competing again, as I've done before in bodybuilding shows. It's a possible goal. I don't know. Similarly, though, right, I could say that any amount of time I spend with my children, right, putting stuff down may stress me out to an extent, but putting down those things, whether it's working out or grading papers, or I mentioned something about updating spreadsheets and things of that nature for myself and for the household, right, managing bills and finances, all that stuff. Putting those things down and spending any time with my children, it is an investment in our relationship. And I mean, I don't think I can put tangible goals on those types of things, but I do know there will be some sort of payout down the road in the form of a stronger relationship in general, or maybe more specific, there will be times in which they need advice, they're struggling with some sort of decision. I'm either going to be the voice in their head, or I'm going to be the person that they come to for advice and have an actual conversation. And so, while not uber specific, right, I can't point to a date, a time, a specific problem that I might help them resolve, but I can say with, I think, absolute certainty that the time I spend with them is an investment, and there will be that payoff for them, for me, right? It's just as important for me to just feel connected and valued and have worth and purpose. And so that's where I think there's this line for me between busyness and productivity. I don't want to just be busy. I want to be productive. Right? I don't want to, just thinking about sometimes in education, right? It's I don't know, you get to a certain point and you talk to enough other educators, and there's a good number who are just talking about how many years they have left before they retire. And it's one, yes, it's sad, but for education and for kids, but just thinking about, again, busyness versus productivity, I don't want to be just waiting for the end. I would rather, to me, that's busyness, just waiting for the end. I would rather set this goal of, well, if you really are unhappy in your career, but you do see your retirement as a better option, well, then make it your goal to retire early, right? And be productive and take steps on a daily basis, or as often as you can, to retire early, right? Set that goal and make things happen. Don't just sit and wait. So that's, I think, ultimately what I'm trying to accomplish, is this, just being productive. And yes, right, TV time I think is important, and taking that time to relax and wind down, but you can watch something that helps support your goals and your productivity levels. And so even though it's a silly thing, last night I did choose to watch some TV while I ate my late night meal, and because I choose to spend time with my son playing Disney Lorcana, a trading card game, and we have some tournaments coming up, rather than just watch some random television show that might be entertaining, I elected to watch a video overview of the top 16 decks from this past weekend's North American Championship. And so to me, it's decisions like that, how we spend, maybe, I'm not saying, right, we don't have to rule out TV time. We can still have TV time, but there is a way to make that productive time. This is assuming that we do have other goals that we're working toward. And if not, and just TV time and streaming a random, entertaining, suspenseful, whatever kind of show or movie you're into and looking for, that's okay too. But I'm just saying, for myself, and maybe folks like me who kind of involve themselves in a number of things, there's a way to still have that, TV downtime and meet those goals and be productive and not feel like you were scrolling forever and now 2 hours have gone by and you haven't accomplished nearly what you set out to do. So again, for me, the theme of this, well, I hope you appreciate that little recap of my day and the progress I felt like I have made so far this week. Again, just talking about this idea of busyness versus productivity. So anyway, I'd appreciate it if you enjoyed watching this video. Give us a nice like and maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Turn on that notification bell, but more so, if you'd leave a comment down below, I would love to, get in that kind of exchange with you. Your goals, my goals, how you maybe struggle with being, busyness versus being productive, and exchange some tips, some ideas, some thoughts. I'd love to hear what your goals are, and if I have any advice or things to share, and that can relate and motivate. I don't know, that would be awesome. So anyway, again, I'm Anthony. This is Drive Dive. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.